You're happy and you know it. Clap your hands. Big up to my good vibes, you see me. Make sure you are showing up for yourself and loving yourself to infinity and beyond. Now let us get into the video. Indeed, we shall. Pay a like, pay a comment, pay a sub, pay attention. Let's get it.
By now, you probably feeling like this shit a little bit impossible to go without food, man. But it's all a fucking illusion. Yeah, it's all an illusion. We eat from the sun, man. We never really needed the food for real. You know what I'm saying? We were just doing that shit for real. We never really even needed food, man. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get back to our natural colors. Green and blue and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Real talk. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. It's time to get back to our natural God bodies type shit. So by doing that, hey, we gotta remove all this toxic shit that we used to eating and used to drinking and used to wearing. Hell, all the way down to the clothes. You know what I'm saying? This cotton shit, man. We supposed to be dripped in linen. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main thing right there, man. Getting back to our God forms for real. You know what I'm saying? But one by one, we're gonna, work one by one until we get all the way to where we need to be at type shit. But yeah, it's the whole thing, y'all. Getting back to that real true form. Yeah. Leah, come on now. Stop playing with them. Activate it. Go outside. Eat from the sun, it's gonna take away the hunger. You ain't even gonna get hungry. I'm telling you. Go soak in the sun, man. Eat from the sun. It's gonna take away your appetite. Real facts. Yeah.
I strongly believe exactly what he's talking about. Because I'm starting to realize that we can eat like once a week and be okay. Like, as long as we're not exerting like an absurd amount of energy and stuff. Now, if you are, very, very active, you're probably going to need a little more than that. But yeah, and definitely go without eating. It's not. Anyway, so I think like realistically once every few days, because it takes up to 72 hours for your food to digest. And if you continue to feed the body while your food is still digesting, you're just making your body work extra hard for no reason. So yeah, I agree.
Sacrifice now to celebrate later. You say you want it, go get it. And don't complain while you're working towards it, because when you get it and it's time to celebrate, those complaints won't even matter. Stay focused. Do what you gotta do to get to where you want to be.
Stop trying to stop trying to chase your dream. We gods, we don't chase dreams. Just saying it out your mouth, you're spell casting. You say you're chasing your dream. So you're going to always be chasing it. Listen to yourself. You saying you chasing your dream, or you're chasing this good goddess, or you're chasing this good God, or you're chasing this good job. You up all night, 5 a.m. working hard as hell because you chasing some shit. And that's why you'll never have it. Because you're chasing it. But we are ancient beings. You don't have to chase anything. We manifest. We don't chase shit. We manifest. You are the magician. Write down. When you write it down, that's an affirmation. That's magic one-on-one. First step to manifesting anything is to write it down. Definitely when you first started. Write it down. When you write it out, when you spell it out, listen to my words. When you write it down or spell it out, Now it becomes an affirmation. Only thing left do now is to incan it. Remember, we create with words and thoughts. They are what? Vibrations. I just taught this in yesterday's class about vibrations. Everything vibrates. This is why meditation is key, because every thought that you think is not even your thoughts. We are all connected. Reflection, the carbonated beings. Everything you think, you send it out into the universe, to the ethers.
Die for knowledge.
I believe I said it before. I'm going to say it again. Thoughts are very important. Watch what you think. You know what I mean? What you speak is important, but your thoughts are important as well. So, yeah.
All right, let's talk about frequencies. Now, frequency is an occurrence of a wave in a certain point of time. For example, high frequencies are smaller because it occurs more. Low frequencies are bigger because it occurs less. It's like the ocean. The big waves happen at a lower frequency. The little waves happen at a more higher frequency. It keeps coming. Every single thing around us emits a frequency. That's how we get Wi-Fi, the radio, music. We can't detect it physically, but most of our senses can still pick it up. Then we are frequency. That's why I always tell y'all to raise your frequency, because the higher your frequency is, the better that you feel. And you also attract things to keep you on that frequency. So if you're on the love frequency, the joy frequency, the harmony frequency, etc., you're going to attract things to keep you there. Same thing with the lower frequencies. If you always in fear, always feel like that you need something, always angry, you're going to attract things to keep you feeling that way. We are more than just this physical body. And when you learn more about frequency, you learn how to manage your life better. People who control this world is also controlling the frequency of our music. They're putting our music at 440 hertz. 440 hertz can damage us in a lot of ways. It can cause us to feel anxiety, mood swings, angry, all kinds of shit. And that's why most of the music we listen to today is all 440 hertz. If you click the link in my bio, you can find you a playlist full of spiritual frequencies. There's frequencies on here for attracting peace, attracting money, attracting things to keep your mind at ease. You can find it on Spotify and Apple Music. I love y'all.
They don't want you to know that love and knowledge is the highest frequency that you can be on. Knowledge opens up the doors of your mind, and it lets you break free of the chains of ignorance that you've been put under. Love connects you to yourself and to others and the universe on a level that goes beyond just words. So together, they create true freedom, the freedom to think, feel, and grow into the version of yourself that you was meant to be. Freedom, it isn't from what they just tell you. It comes from knowing and loving yourself and seeing the world as it truly is, not through the filters of manipulation. So it's time to raise your vibration, seek knowledge, and love yourself. That's the real key to being your highest self.
Touch y'all's hand when I say this. Jesus and astrology do not go together. You cannot tell me that the creation, like the stars and the planets that God created, can tell you who you are more than the Creator can himself.
So, before I even continue on that one, what y'all gotta understand is that y'all don't walk that path of light like that to even be able to listen to Jesus, or who y'all call God. And before I continue again, God is not a man, it is spirit. Psalms 19, 1 through 4. The heavens. Now remember in your Bible, the firmament is considered heaven. The heavens declare the glory of God. Day unto day they utter speech, and night unto night they reveal knowledge. Their voice goes out through all the earth. This poetic verse says the stars speak and reveal knowledge. Exactly what astrology teaches. They are not just passive objects, they are divine messengers encoded with wisdom. Quick history lesson before I move forward. When you are born into this realm, You have a physical incarnation, and then you have a spiritual incarnation. And when your soul comes into this realm, since we have 7 heavens, each celestial body rules a specific part of that heaven. So when you incarnate here, depending on where the planet is, because when you're born, the planets are in different places for every single person. So they give you characteristics and kind of code your story and your purpose as to why you are here. Job 38:31-33. Can you bind the sweet influences of the Pleiades? When you get a chance, guys, look at what the Pleiades star system is. Even look up what Pleiadians are. Or bring forth the Mazareth in its season. Now, you don't have to believe this. Go on Google and ask, what does Mazareth mean? It means the 12 constellations, the 12 zodiac signs, which is why we have zodiacs. God is acknowledging the power of the stars and constellations as part of his cosmic order. Sweet influences equals the energetic effect of stars and constellations. And one last thing, what doesn't go together, who y'all call Jesus, Yeshua, that's the real person. Yeshua and money doesn't go together. The Bible and money doesn't go together. When have you ever heard Jesus and God talk about, go get some money? In fact, the very money that y'all praise so much and lust after, our slave master had us pick cotton specifically to make that money. Money is 75% cotton. So they still have us picking cotton.
I think I spoke on this before, I'm not sure, but I grew up very churchy, very, Christian, very Kojic, holiness type vibes. And I read the Bible a lot, and the Bible mentions the cosmos a lot. So yeah, I'm not going to delve in too deep about that, but the Bible does mention the cosmos a lot. So yeah, I don't know if it's being taught a certain way, or that's neither here nor there. Anyway, let me know your thoughts.
Is every day in your life you must break this spell of thinking that everything is based on how you behave. Good behavior has nothing to do with original gnosis and the ascension to the higher level. It's energy, and you were born with that particular energy. And the more you tap into that energy and throw off the shackles of what we would call the petty world, which would be basically detailed rituals and detailed cultural nonsense. That is this baggage that was put on 2,000 years ago of lesser groups of people who didn't have a cultural background in spirituality, which would be the Europeans, basically, and all these particular customs that they have now have nothing to do at all with spirituality whatsoever. The main key is these customs are very important to them because they have to deal with things outer, because inner is lacking. So that's why their spiritual world is based on outer. And if you're dealing with things outer, then basically most of the time you got to deal with how you behave, what you wear, what you eat. But if you're dealing with things inner, you will find out that man is imprisoned in an inferior vessel. And that's the mystery of Christ being nailed to the cross. Man is in
Fourth dimension is where you can consciously view yourself within this vessel. So fourth dimension would be like playing a video game where you see the whole character. Like it's like playing Uncharted or Metal Gear Solid or playing NBA or 2K or Madden or something, where you're looking at the player. In order for you to reach fourth dimensional perspective, you have to realize that you are the God. See, 3D is when you in the body and you believe that something outside yourself not only controls your destiny, but already predispositioned and planned your destiny. 4th dimension is when you looking at the player and you controlling the goddamn game. Okay? The game is not coming at you, you going at the game. Okay? It's like if you playing Call of Duty is coming at you. If you playing 2K, you going at the hoop. And you thinking like, okay, let me do this, let me do that, let me do that. Call of Duty is just like, I'm going to spin this corner and I hope that somebody ain't around here. 2 different perspectives, okay? 2 different perspectives. And so when you say I'm the God and I'm the manifester, the God, G-O-D, generator, organizer, and dispenser of my own reality, now you have the potential of reaching spiritual enlightenment. That's why that's important. Because prayer is asking for something outside yourself to cause an effect. Meditation is preparing yourself to cause an effect. See the difference? Now meditation is important because scientifically proven, meditation is the only exercise which exercises every muscle in your body, including your heart and your brain.
Okay, so which dimension are you guys in? 3D, 4D, 5D? Let me know. If you any higher than that, you a bad mother. I think that when you realize that nobody has control over you but you, that's when you like move up.
Quick thought. In Genesis 32:30, Jacob said, I named this place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, right? He was referring to the pineal gland because once you activate it by doing these things right here, you will see God face to face. And God is not what we taught God is. God is not a spirit or entity outside of the body. That's why we have a body of Christ in the temple of God, because the God consciousness is inside of the body. The reason why I'm saying that, because the pineal gland and the pituitary glands are 2 most important glands you have. There's nothing more important than the pineal gland, but why don't we know about it? And the things that you do to calcify, you have to take care of the body. And the pineal gland will activate on its own and you will see God face to face. That's why in the body, in the Bible, it say we was created in the image of God. So every time you go in the mirror looking God, you're supposed to see you. Pineal gland.
But since you've been cut off from your spiritual technology, you just be kind of taking on your ancestors' problems. And they would never want you to go through that because they the ones causing it for you. Obviously, you're going to always have some who will want to come back and participate in this game. That's why I told you, most of them take on what we call demonic forms. They would rather come here with a little bit of power and shapeshift. They can't do what they used to do because the density has dropped so low. This is, y'all always heard people say this is hell. Bro, this is low-key below that. Because it can keep being manipulated and it hasn't yet been destroyed. Why? I don't know. But it can't get too real. So it has to be another reset. And after every reset, you're going to see different new incubated spirits. Now let's get back to the incubated spirits. Our ancestors has been creating shit for the longest. Beings, people. To keep the matrix going. Now, just like I told you, would you create a lot of chosen ones to end this shit? Right? You see how it's 2 sides going against each other, but it's the same thing? You would have a whole bunch of chosen ones, and they would want to end this motherfucker right now. Get people back to their true selves, and if you connect with your true self, you would not want to be here. You would want everything to end. Now, I want you to really, truly think about all the resets. But listen, our ancestors create incubated spirits who are programmed. Look up incubated chickens. And this is why I keep saying incubated, because I don't want to say clones and all the bullshit, because it's programs attached to it. Look up incubated chickens. You are the gods of those chickens. You could put your own DNA in them and watch them become chickens. You watching them like in a dome. You just sitting there watching them. You are their creator. You are their mother. You are their operator, their God. Bro, our ancestors been using that technology for beings, animals, everything you see, we created. We always give all our power to something outside of ourselves, when at the beginning,
It was what's inside of you that was at the beginning.
Listen, I don't know who need to hear this, but I got a message for y'all. Some of that weight that's all on your spirit, it ain't depression. It's spiritual responsibility, only for chosen ones. You carry an assignment that other people in your whole lineage couldn't do. You carry an assignment that other people ran from. You healing wounds that you didn't cause. You vibrating a lot of people higher with your positive energy. You answering prayers that your ancestors didn't even know how to fix. That's why it feels so unfamiliar. That's why I feel like it's so hard on your soul. That's why I feel like it's so heavy on your spirit. You've been walking the path that ain't never been walked before in your family. You wasn't born to fit in. You was born to stand out. You were born to transform. You are the turning point. You're not lost. You just breaking cycles. This is your spiritual assignment. Keep going. You got it. Keep it up.
Absolutely. When you come from a family that continues to eat pig feet and chitlins and hog maw and fat back and neck bones, and you the only one plant-based, you know. Yeah, it's you meant for something.
If electricity is produced by copper and carbon, the friction of copper and carbon, then where do we go in the human body and find the organ that produces electricity? We find that it's the brain. The brain is the center of motor. The nervous system is the conduit that carries the electricity to various points of the body to cause motion. Now, should we ask, what is the composition of the brain? It is made up of what? Carbon and copper. The pineal gland is carbon, and the cerebral cortex, copper. We not only find that in a human being, we find that in the eel in Brazil that produces electricity to kill his prey. And when you open the eel, all you find is copper and carbon.
Does everybody have a pineal gland? I was told the other day that everybody doesn't have one. Is that true or not?
If you had no pineal gland, you would not be alive. You would be in no motion. It's impossible. Every race has pineal glands.
I want this TikTok to reach anyone and everyone that understands that they have God within them. I want conscious and spiritual people all over my page. We have all got to come together so that we can keep raising the consciousness of this entire planet. I'm always open to remembering and learning new info, because at the end of the day, we don't know anything really. So again, if you are spiritual, conscious, you know that you are God. Connect with me. Peace.
Sun is getting warmer, y'all. Y'all gotta get out here, get y'all sunlight reflections. The sun is heating up. You know, we in the age of Aquarius and the sun is heating up. We're going back to nature. That's why it's heating up. You gotta get the sunlight. You know what the sun does to us? It charges you up every 9 minutes. You're out in the sun. You're getting upgrades to your DNA. You know, you're getting downloads from the sun every 9 minutes, because remember, we're the non-ether beings. So every 9 minutes we out in the sun, man, you're getting upgrades from it. So get your sunlight. It's going to do a lot for you. Help with your ether, on your hair, help with your skin. You know, you're going to be getting downloads out of places. You can go in meditative states out here, just go crazy out in the sun, man. Like, if you get a sunlight at least an hour a day, or every other day, at least go out, get some sunlight. Let the sun hit your ether. Let the sun hit your skin. Just come out here and sun in nature and vibe. Because the sun, we are connected directly with the sun. Remember that, man. Like, don't forget what the sun is. The sun is just all of our souls together. That's why it's so hot. Come out here and get some sunlight reflections. Come out and get some sunlight. It's just heating up, man. They can't even explain what's going on. They try to block out the sun with the fake clouds. So yeah, come out here, y'all, get your sunlight reflections. It's gonna power you up. You're a non-ether being. It's gonna power you up. If not, then it's gonna hurt you, because it shows you who's the natural beings to this planet. Come get your sunlight.
That's easy for him to say. I'm in the desert. It's hot out here. But I feel him. I do understand where he's coming from, and I'm going to go get that sunlight. Get get that sunlight.
They gonna let Donald Trump ass win by default, man. He is the last president of the USC, the United States of Earth, nigga. This shit is over with, nigga. That story in Revelations about the end of the world, it's about the end of their motherfucking world. Yeah, in Revelations, and the great beast, the 10-headed serpent, wasn't allowed to trade with anyone anymore. None of the merchants would trade with her. And everybody stood back and watched her sink, and they was like, oh, woe to that great beast, Babylon, nigga. They was talking about America, nigga. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's happening. We good, though. You know what I'm saying? We good. You know what I'm saying? They took this shit from us. We wasn't killing each other. We wasn't disrespecting our women. It wasn't like that, y'all. So everything we did, we get past. That should get a pass. We was under spells, y'all. We was spells. We had been enslaved. That's what really happened. They put spells on us. They locked our DNA, nigga. They enslaved this nigga. They put drugs in the kid. All this shit had us at each other. Facts.
What y'all think about that? America is Babylon for sure. Like, you know, and America's always in somebody else's business. They're always interfering with things that don't got nothing to do with nothing about us. And they tend to just, you know, let problems stew that we have here. And they want to resolve everything everywhere else. It's just, it's getting out of hand. But let me know what you think about that.
Melanin itself is an intelligence. It's more than an intelligence. My further studies revealed that it is a superconductor. It also acts as a semiconductor. So as an intelligence, it formulates and transmits and absorbs the light codes and then becomes the estuaries to actually give information to your genetics, which then gives information to your blood. So melanin, those who are blessed with it richly, have the capabilities to get into very heavy spiritual traveling. You can do time travel just through you understanding how to lock the melanin that you'll have into the blood. But right now, all the food that you're eating, all the water and the crap that you're drinking, all the pollution you're breathing, it has put the active components, spiritual components in the melanin molecule that are consciousness transporters. It has put it into stasis. You do not eat, you do not sleep, you do not rest, you do not meditate, you do not do the things for this technology to advance. You're doing everything for this technology to advance. You're constantly giving yourself over to something that is taking your place. This has become the new transducer of information for you, but it is tricking you because the one in charge of it, the one who is absorbing the information and putting it into an intelligence that is artificial, that now becomes the first eye. AI is the pineal for the
No Anunnaki, no extraterrestrials had nothing to do with this. No spacemen, but black men. The Cometians who were involved in building this. Every time something comes to Africa, somebody else had to do it. All right? But everywhere else in the world, okay, they are the ones that the Greeks, they built this, the Chinese built this, but come to Africa, somebody else had to do it, even though you got all the colossals and the statues of the Kemetic Africans who were involved in building this. So you're standing also right in the center of the earth. That means they knew the science of geodesics, building the pyramid right in the center of the earth. So we're going to bring all this to life tonight.
They're still trying to figure out how the pyramids are built. Melanin built that. They're still trying to understand how the undersea, these incredible megaliths that they say giants had created, not just giants in stature, but giants in intellect. They're still wondering how that happened. Melanin. That is the only way that light transduces. A melanin body can actually take in more of the light, more of the radiative aspects of light than a white or pale or Caucasian or even a light-skinned person.
Why they always coming at the light-skinned people? Like, wait, I got a lot of melanin. Like, y'all just listen. I ain't been getting the sun like I need to get the sun, but I got a lot of melanin. You know, you listen. This is how you can detect your melanin. Your true melanin is when you like scratch yourself or something and see if it make a mark and see what color that mark is. That's your melanin. The color of your areolas. Your elbows and your knees. That's your melanin.
Let me put y'all onto some spiritual secrets to elevate your consciousness that they will never teach you. Basking in the sunlight not only uplifts your mood, but it also upgrades and activates your DNA, which enhances your spiritual evolution. But yeah, they don't want you to know that, which is why they demonize people who actually sit in the sun. Actual source of life. You know, the real Jesus, because if you know, you know. Moon plays a part in recycling souls. They literally show you this. Think DreamWorks logo. Trees are energy purifiers, so the next time you pissed off, go hug one. It's a natural absorber of negative energy. It'll help cleanse and balance your aura. Just like immersing yourself in the ocean will. It induces a state of calm and contentment over you, probably because your body recognizes the ocean as home. I told y'all that's where we come from. We are aquatic beings. Racism is used as a divide and conquer tactic. It was designed to create division and distraction. It literally keeps humanity stuck in the same rat race. Specifically for my white people, once you wake up and realize that you've been eating the same exact food that's not good for us, working on these same ass jobs, being controlled just like we are, racism suddenly doesn't make sense. Without going too far on this topic, learn who really pulls the strings, because it's not who they tell you. That inner voice that you hear inside of you without speaking, it's not just you, that's the divine essence of you, aka your higher self, one that's been guiding you your whole life, that energy that you call God. Entities feed on negative energy. From addictions to fears, these entities feed and thrive off of your negative energy, because most of the time these entities are you. The best thing about it is you can overcome them because they are you. Another thing they don't want y'all to know is that we are in the midst of a great awakening. It's a time to elevate our consciousness and embrace higher truths. Symbolism is a universal language. Symbols transcend language because they expose and convey deep spiritual truths. These truths connect us to the collective unconscious. Hear me clearly on this last one. Constantly seeking others' approval can lead to self-abandonment. You will neglect your own needs and your own authenticity. Let me put it plainly for you. People-pleasing is a sign of self-disrespect. Live your truth and walk in your purpose. Nothing more, nothing less. Because if you're not walking in your purpose, what are you doing? That's what you should be asking yourself every day. I know knowledge is power, but only when you apply it. Most of these topics I already expanded on in a lot of my videos. But if there's any in particular you want me to go deeper with, just let me know in the comment. And if you want to talk face-to-face with me, make sure you come to my Puff and Paint event February 28th and March 1st. We're going to go deeper on a lot of these different topics. I have food, a live DJ, of course, deep thought conversation. The vibe's going to be amazing because, of course, I'm going to be there. Last but not least, my herbal products are now on pre-order. Just know they real cosmic. If you enjoy flour, I better know what I'm talking about. Many different forms, cookies, tinctures, sugar, or just the regular flour itself. Head on over to the link in my bio. I'll also put the link directly in the caption. Shout out to everybody that's been giving us amazing reviews so far. Truly appreciate your business and support. Peace, love, and light, and gratitude for watching.
That's right. You heard what she said. Stop trying to be a people pleaser and do what you're gonna do. You know, walk in your purpose and don't worry about how others may look at you or talk about you. It doesn't matter. Get it done.
Of some bath water. You take 3 caps of Clorox, 3 caps of ammonia, 3 caps of vinegar, 3 caps of lemon juice, and 1/2 cup of sea salt, right? Half a cup? Yeah, half a cup of sea salt. And you get in there, and for some of us rusty niggas, it probably can strip off all kind of stuff. And you get in that water. I'm going to go and do it again in a few minutes. And you get in that water and you bathe, and you burn a candle while you're doing it. Huh? No, I can say it. You burn a candle, right? Your spirit tells you. Say what you want, carry some the candle, the wax. Carry some of the wax around with you. You know, get a little bit of that wax out of that candle and carry it around with you before you burn it and stuff like that. But you burn this candle, you put it in something, you know, a little pouch or whatever. But to strip off this stuff in, I know that this spiritual cleansing works. So a lot of you, you get ready to go to jail or some stuff that's going down or some stuff that's just messing around in your life. You need to take this particular spiritual bath.
We might have been taking spiritual baths since that sounds like a regular bath with some candles, and you like some candles all around. You know, have you ever took a bath with some candles? Like, I think everybody, like, now the ammonia is something a little bit different, but my grandmother, you know, she used to spray ammonia around the house, like a cat full of ammonia, and it, like, it's normal stuff. Am I like, is that not normal?
I don't know your third eye is opening, featuring Real Chosen.
In case you didn't know, your third eye is the pineal gland that's inside your brain. We came out the womb with our pineal gland open, but due to the junk food that we eat and the fluoride that's in our water, it calcifies our pineal gland.
But if you really think about it, our whole life we've been fed a lot of junk. During Halloween, we get a lot of candy. When you go to the store, you want to get chips. But if you want to decalcify your pineal gland, you got to be aware of what you're putting in your body.
So much things that stop your pineal gland from opening, but this is how you know when it's starting to open. But when your dreams will start to become way more vividly. When you're sleeping, your eyes is closed, how are you seeing your dreams? It's with your pineal gland. The more open it is, the more you will see your dreams.
Number 2, you'll want to do a whole lot of research. You'll have a sudden urge to want to know the truth about literally everything. This is the stage when you realize a lot of things you've been taught is a lie. That's why this stage is when you feel the most disconnected from the world.
Your intuition is way more increased. You can literally see through all bullshit. To have a way stronger connection with nature, you start to see nature as alive. Like you just see life so differently now.
The stage number 4 is when you start seeing a lot of synchronicities from the universe. Things like ancient numbers, signs, colors, it could be literally anything. And everything is meant to show you a message. But if you want to see a full video about synchronicities and ancient numbers, be sure to comment part 2.
Love y'all.
How you can start loving yourself. You start loving yourself by not identifying yourself with the physical body that you think you are. You are not your physical body. And I know what I'm talking about. In 2002, on October the 16th, I was sitting in the chair and I went to know self. That's the spiritual level where you go and you neutralize your spiritual self. So Bobby Hemmett no longer exists, and I felt alone for a couple of minutes. But then I realized how stupid it was, because my soul was outside and my soul was identifying with its original self, and my physical body was just a series of illusions that never existed. So now if you can get to the point where you can devalue your physical self and every little thing that you hold dear in your life, including your family and everything, that understand that you are completely cosmic, you see what I'm saying? Then you can neutralize your ego enough that you don't have to be over here player hating on somebody because they bought a brand new fur coat. Right. It's just a series of events that never existed. We never existed. This is the ultimate reality that we got to say over and over, because at this particular time, we're being judged by what is called the apocalypse of the heart.
Die for knowledge.
Our ancestors literally were training lions and taking lions on boats overseas to fight wars with them. Our ancestors was living amongst the bears, petting the bears, walking side by side with the bear. You know why? Because they didn't fear the animal. So with that being said, we have been uprooted from our natural environment, and we're being deprived of our biological and physiological potential, as well as our spiritual wisdom and frequencies that we could be absorbing if we lived around certain animals, for 2. And then for 3, when we built our houses were made out of certain crystals and certain organic substances which amplified our frequency. Certain minerals, metals, all of that. The geomantic positions and properties in locations in regards to specific aspects and proponents on the land of where our house was built. All of this was taken into account. So now why is this important? That was so that we can download the solar prominences, aka the solar energies, or the energies from the solar system, aka the planets at certain times. So our environment was predicated upon specific vegetation, specific animal life and specific location of our homes, aka housing areas, the specific sizes and shapes of our houses, and the exact coordinates of our house's location underneath certain stars, just like the pyramids is located directly underneath Orion's belt, because we were constantly aware that we were being affected by our environment. When you go look up the definition of environment, it says the circumstances which influence a living organism. So when you control your environment, you control the circumstances that influence you. Now, why is this important? Because people today say, I'm a product of my environment. Well, look at your environment. The food you eat is faker than a motherfucker. The vegetation of life around you is at 0% because it's all fake. The animals around you keep you in their lower frequency. You only can have a damn cat, a dog, a damn snake, or something that's in the cage. You can't be around no exotic animals. The buildings around you are made out of concrete. Now, why is concrete important? Because concrete stops photon rays. So you in the house all day, or you have insulation in your house that's meant to stop the rays of the sun from hitting you. So you're not getting any cosmic solar frequency to digest through your melanin, through your pineal gland, through the retinas of your eyes, etc. So you have been cut off from nature extensively.
Now these are facts. There's tribes that still exist that actually like live amongst the animals and walk and talk to the animals and all of that type of stuff out here now. So that's facts. Yeah, I don't know where I don't know where the fear came from, like from animals, because we definitely have dominion over them and stuff. Like they didn't, we're not. I think that, when people started to put animals in cages and different things like that, I think that's when the fear kicked in. When you put them in cages and you put them on display for the world to, just to view and pet them and different things like that, I think that's when the fear came in, because you are afraid of vengeance. Like, if you were put in a cage, for X amount of time and fed scraps and stuff and petted and, taken out of your natural habitat, it might get a little crazy when you open them gates. So I think that's where the fear sparked. But let me know what y'all think.
Cause I know I'm healthy. Shit. So when you go to the doctor, think about it.
All of a sudden,
why do you get a physical? Yeah. Why would they want a physical? Why do you need to check on me, and then you can't even get your results back from the doctor unless you request it? Other people not attack. Motherfuckers is going to the doctor, getting just ordinary checkups, and they're not even telling you what's wrong with you. Yeah. They taking blood. Why are you taking my blood? And then what the fuck you need my blood for in a tube to send it to the lab to do what? For a physical. If I didn't come here and tell you something was wrong with me, why are you taking shit from me and then not even giving me the results? It's because they put you on a log. So now what happens is they might say, okay, this brother came in, he was 230 pounds, he got this type of blood type, and his heart is this healthy. So now when this rich ass white man comes say, I want to live, I don't want to die, they're going to say, well, match, kill him, car accident, take him. Because think about it, when you die, what's the first thing they do? An autopsy. What's an autopsy? Where they cut your sternum, your chest cavity open, and they remove shit out you. Now I got a question. If I get shot in the head, you know how I died. I got a bullet hole in my goddamn head. Why the fuck is you opening my chest up? Because when black people die, they take their organs. Melanin is the number one cash cow in America right now. Melanin is worth exactly $356 per gram. More than gold. That's right. Worth more than platinum, gold, silver, copper, anything that's considered.
They're making us chase down the gold and platinum when the melanin is the one thing.
Now do the knowledge. If you want to add that up, 150-pound man on the scale of melanin is worth $28 million. So how much you weigh? Maybe 230. So you about 50 million. So when you die, so they don't gotta kill. So when you die, they in you. Boom. Give me them organs. Autopsy. We selling them to the highest bidder. So why you think they got fast food restaurants everywhere? Because the bigger you get, the more you work.
Yeah, so I'm a non-organ donor, but I think he's right. I don't even think that matters if you're a non-organ donor or an organ donor. Like, I think they're gonna take your organs anyway. How you gonna stop them? I know how I'm gonna do it. Because I'm going to hunt you. You take some of mine that didn't belong to you, whether I'm here or not here. You gonna run me my stuff back.
Right now, we all seen that viral video of that girl crashing out on her best friend because her best friend, quote unquote, looked better than her on her birthday. Now, the worldly advice to that little girl is that you have 365 days to prepare for your born day, your earth return. The spiritualist advice to her friend, get away from that motherfucker. Because it's giving that she's been actively jealous and trying to destiny swap with you for the longest. And her birthday, yeah, that was the 13th reason, baby. People that try to destiny swap with you are friends, family, people that see you on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And the fact that she pointed out a bunch of other instances where she looked better than her, mentioned how her body is thicker than hers and looked better than hers. Baby, she's been manifesting everything that you got. And it is not a new thing. She's been wanting to be you, honey. So much so she was insecure about bringing you around her man. That's not your friend. Which millions of other people told you this already. But as someone who practiced in the occult, get away from her. Because all of her woes will become yours. And this is why I constantly tell people to stay prayed up, stay protected. Best case scenario for y'all friendship, if y'all stay friends, because she's definitely trying to destiny swap, is that when she does it, she inherits all of your blues and none of your rhythm. The very worst case scenario that I don't want you to experience is you inheriting that low vibrational, jealous, insecure spirit upon you. In a world full of Michelle, she looks at you like you're Beyonce. And these type of women will go to the equator to be you, babe. And the common misconception is that you have to mix herbs to do it. Please remember that herbs and spell work and conjure work is just a conduit. The power of the tongue is everything. Stay safe.
Garden of Eden was never lost. It was just hidden within you. Not a patch of land in Mesopotamia, but a state of consciousness that you forgot you had. The word Eden means delight, not dirt. It was never a place. It was your original frequency, your divine mind before the programming. The tree of life, that's your spine, your sacred ladder. 33 vertebrae, just like the Christ age when he ascended. You think that's a coincidence? No. The tree of knowledge of good and evil, that's duality. The trap of thinking in opposites. Light versus dark, good versus evil. It's the moment we left wholeness and got stuck in survival. And the serpent, it wasn't your enemy, it was your key. Kundalini, the sacred cord energy, every ancient culture knew it. The Egyptians showed it on their crown. The Hindus mapped it as chakras. Even your DNA spirals like a serpent. It rises through two currents, Ida and Pingala, feminine and masculine, winding up your spine like a cosmic braid. The goal is to activate your third eye, the pineal gland, your inner gateway. The Ark of the Covenant wasn't a box. It was your brain. Between your temples is the mercy seat, where Source speaks to you directly. But they inverted the tools, demonized the serpent, literalized the metaphors. Why? Because once you remember that the Garden of Eden is your mind, that the tree is your spine, that Christ is a state of consciousness, and that the fall was mental, not physical, you stop obeying and start awakening. Eden was never guarded by swords. It was guarded by illusion. But now you're remembering that the map was always internal. The gate was never locked.
Yeah, so I've never heard anyone explain it quite like that, but I don't know. I don't want to say I don't agree. I just gotta, look into it more, do my own research and connect the dots and stuff. But I can see where she was going. Well, that concludes today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Give this video a big thumbs up. Shout out to all the creators. Go like, follow, and comment on their videos. And as always, I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Be blessed. Peace. We out. Thank you for being a real one, for being a chill one, for hitting the sub button. Thank you for showing me love. Yeah, y'all some good vibes.